This is Purist Brain Farts.
Well, hello.
Good day to you.
Good day. We have a special guest with us today.
We do. Dizzy Rascal.
She is an absolute one.
She is stressed out. She's anxious when she's left by herself. Even though she was with Nigel and Roscoe, Paul's dog, and my other dog. Because we just recently adopted her, she gets anxious. So we've allowed her to come into recording studio to stop her barking, hopefully. But she's just about to play the bass drum with her feet.
Because there is a drum kit in here. Isn't there, Diz? Hey?
Come on, Diz. So sorry if she barks.
Yeah. She's a Dizzy Rascal. She's 8 and she's a rehomed. She's not a rescue dog. She's been rehomed and she loves tennis balls, and I've confiscated the tennis ball because she would just keep pilling around and she can smell where it is.
Yes, she can. She's very fixated on balls, as it were.
Mm-hmm. She likes to have...
She likes to know where her balls are.
Yeah.
At all times.
She prefers them in her mouth as well.
She does carry it around in her gobbingtons.
Which is nice.
Bless.
Bless. Oh my gosh. So, I'm feeling a little tired.
Are you? Jaded?
Yeah.
Why are you feeling tired, love?
Oh, it's just, excuse me. Just lots going on. Just lots going on and busy days.
Busy days. Izzy Wizzy. Let's get busy.
What about you?
Yeah, I'm good. I realised that for 2 days on the bounce, I forgot to take my thyroid medication.
Oops.
I've got an underactive thyroid, dear listeners. This might be TMI.
Oh,
so
I love that.
Fast forward it if it is.
Let's do medical history. Let's go.
But the impact of not taking the meds is that, it impacts your metabolism, and everything's very, very slow, and then you feel absolutely shattered. So I'm just on the old bounce back from that situation.
Amazing.
Yeah, Shemaze balls.
Love that. Dizzy is still on the hunt. Bless her, she stood on her back 2 legs, balancing beautifully. Aren't you? Oh, shame we can't get her to join in on the convo. Hey, Diz.
Good old Dizwad.
Dizwad. Right, Louise, what are you doing on your phone? Tell me.
I just took a picture of Dizzy. Now then, I'm going to make a proposal.
All right, go on.
Because we are both feeling tired.
Mm-hmm.
Should we talk about tiredness?
No.
No.
We've done tiredness.
Have we?
Yeah.
I'm so tired, I don't remember.
That was in series 1.
Was it actually?
Yeah, about halfway through.
Oh. Okay, so let's not do that then.
No.
How should we choose a topic?
In our usual fashion. Listen, we're not feeling very...
I tell you what, if you inhale some of the exhaust fumes, that'll pep you up.
Pep you up a little bit, won't it? Right. So, I'm going to just go over here and... I'm going to go get it started. While I get it started, you run round the other side near the button.
Okay.
All right?
Yep.
Right, okay. Bloody thing.
What now?
Just stubbed my toe.
Oh, God.
Right. Should be ready now.
What now?
I said it should be ready now.
Right, okay. I'm pushing the button now.
Random theme generator. Random theme generator.
And the topic is choices.
Oh, dear. Sorry. Right, I'm back.
He's back and he's proud.
What we doing?
Choices.
I knew you'd choose that.
What are the choices?
What made you choose choices?
Well, I didn't choose choices, Paul.
Well, that's a choice.
Is it?
You just let a choice happen. Just
I think
what's it called?
the
RTG.
the device called the random theme generator chose choices.
Well, lots to be said about choices.
So, say more. I'm going to look it up. Off of Oxford or Cambridge, England.
The thing about choices now, it's interesting because what Dizziee is choosing to do is be fixated on that ball.
Is that a choice or is that an instinct?
Well, I think she's choosing it. I don't think dogs are born with a fixation for tennis balls.
So, so here we go. A plural noun, choices, an act of choosing between two or more possibilities, the choice between good and evil. The right or ability to choose, a range of possibilities from which one or more may be chosen. A thing or person which is chosen. Now, the origin of the word is Germanic. You could then go into the Old French, choisir.
Choice A.
And then choix, and then choose, and it's choice in Middle English. So it's German, French, English.
Middle English, is that like
It's in
Middle
between. It's what they speak in Middle Earth.
Middle Earth is Middle English.
Middle English. I don't know. What's Middle English?
Listen, I'm not choosing to go there.
So choice.
Dizzy is now choosing.
She's licking me head, pal.
She is climbing all over its sofa.
Dizzy, what are you doing, love?
I mean, we are lucky to have a sofa in the recording studio.
We are. We're very, very lucky that you've chosen that.
I did choose that on purpose because it's also a sofa bed.
Do you think choice can be a bit passag? Like, those are your choices.
100%.
People can...
100%. You choose that for yourself.
Yeah.
You chose to blah, blah, blah.
So, what do you think about this? No one can make you feel something that you haven't chosen to feel.
Well, you've just chosen to say that. Choices are endlessly fascinating, I think.
Right, I'm just going to say, do it. Dizzy, it's
Right.
all gone. It's all gone, Diz.
Do you hear that, Dizzy? Do you choose to believe her?
I'm choosing that it's all gone, Diz.
All right, so that means...
Leave it.
Leave it
Come on,
out.
darling. Come up here and settle
it.
down.
Because, look, Lou's Cardi is a bit fluffy like a used tennis ball, so that's close enough, right? That's it. You're a tired girl now.
You've been on a lovely long WALK. Her previous owner told me this story. So she is fixated with tennis balls. And I live very near Stroud. And Stroud is a place where they manufacture the bays for snooker tables. And that's, again, a similar fabric to tennis balls. And he took her into this place and she was going absolutely mental. And he couldn't work it out. And then he looked up and the entire ceiling was covered in that snooker table material. Bays. The entire ceiling was covered in bays, and that's why she was freaking out. She was like, I'm inside a massive tennis ball.
It's a giant tennis ball.
So she's choosing that for herself.
Yeah, well, make other choices, yeah?
Yeah, make better choices.
I mean, flipping heck, choices is just so gigantinormous. You know,
But it can be a you haven't chosen. So I think there are some conscious choices and some subconscious.
what about unconscious choices?
Same. But do you know what I mean? Like when somebody says, "Oh, you could have chosen." Oh, Paul, bit of windy pops. Better out than in. Apart from,
Yeah, it's Sorry.
Is he going to say it?
Dizziee, you've got some bum Klingons.
She hasn't.
She has. Look, you can see little poo pellets. I chose to bring that up. Mm-hmm. It's interesting because even just today, so I know the listeners are really bored of hearing about. Oh, excuse me. I could choose to go to bed earlier. I'm bored of hearing about my food issues.
Boring.
And it is boring. Oh, look, it's torrential rain. It must be time for the kids to come home from school. So I chose to have something that wasn't. It basically had a little bit of gluten. It had a little bit of onion powder, a little bit of garlic powder.
Right.
And now I'm paying for it. And I chose that for myself.
You did.
Amazing.
No one made you do it.
No.
Why did you choose it?
Basically, guys, it was a Scotch egg. I mean, can you blame me?
Yes.
Scotch eggs are lush.
No, they're not.
Well, not if you're a vegetable like you.
Even if you had a vegetarian one, I don't think I'd eat it.
Why? What's wrong with it?
It's deep fried.
No, it's not.
Is it not?
No.
No.
There you go. You're wrong already. So
I've
you've
chosen.
why did you choose to judge a Scotch egg so harshly without knowing
Dizzy,
anything
enough.
about it?
Because I thought I did know something about it.
Oh my gosh.
You know that expression, you get what you get and you don't get upset?
Yes.
You choose what you choose and you don't win or lose.
I think some mild hysteria might
Has.
be popping in.
Yes.
Hello.
You're choosing that for yourself there, Paul.
There's lots of high value choices going on here.
Oh my lordy lord.
So yeah, so why did I choose something like that? Well, because I really fancied it, even though I know it won't agree with me. I often don't indulge, and today I thought I would.
And it's interesting to me because I've noticed that I've been going, oh, yes, please, I'd like to eat. So for weeks, I haven't drunk any alcohol. I haven't eaten a lot of crappy food. But this week, I'm noticing that I do want to eat loads of chalk and things like that.
And you've had 5 bottles of wine.
No, I haven't had anything to drink. But the point I'm making is, when I was writing in my journal, I realised that the thing on the surface, the choice on the surface is linked to something much, much deeper. I'm doing quite a lot of work. I've started to go to therapy again. Dizzy just stabbed on my head. Dizzy,
She chose that for herself.
make better choices, my dear.
She seems quite happy with her choice. You just make an important point. Like going to
And the
therapy
dog
again.
stamps on my head.
She's like, shut up. Not this again. That's harsh feedback, this.
But I think the point is I was able to frame that choice that I was making in the context of its deeper meaning, and it didn't then trigger feelings of like, oh, why are you doing this? Or I didn't beat myself up. I didn't shame myself about it. I'm just like, okay, I'm noticing that, and that's I'm doing this stuff down here, which is why it's triggering some of those choices on the surface. That's a natural response. So it's all very well for somebody in a slightly passag way to say, oh, well, you own your own choices. And it is true. I don't disagree with that. And when you start linking things up, the choices are often symptomatic of something going on under 100%. The surface. And what I really, really don't like in the zeitgeist is when people start saying things that are super unhelpful, like just make better choices. It's like if it was that bloody easy,
We'd all be doing it.
we'd all be squared away and living a life full of wonderful choices. It's not, and you can be made to feel, or you can choose to feel. It can trigger something in you of feeling less than, not worth it, blah blah blah. But actually, it's not. It's not that. It's simply that, you know, the situation you're in is you know has a domino effect.
Yeah. The other thing that's interesting about choices is they are judgment based.
Say more. What do you mean?
Well, when you make a choice, you are judging one thing is better than another thing. So I was judging that having a Scotch egg at lunch was better than me having something appropriate for my diet. Sorry, that was just the Scotch egg talking to me. Reminded me what a great choice I made.
Hello, Paul.
So, yes, and a choice can't be passive. Oh, no, it can be. No, yes, it can be. For example, choosing to do nothing is a choice.
Yes.
So if you go, oh, this is a difficult situation, should I do left or right or whatever, and then choosing to do nothing is a choice.
Mm-hmm.
And that's... Oh, gosh, there's just so many levels to choices. That's the other thing. Like you were just talking about a minute ago.
And I just think that to just approach it with a little bit of kindness for ourselves and for other people, it's huge. The notion that our choices are exactly that, ours, and you know, nobody can make you feel something that you haven't chosen to feel for yourself. That might be an automatic response. It might not feel like a choice. That's okay. But also, you know, it's not that you're saying I'm accountable not only for my own thoughts and feelings, but for other people's choices and actions. And that's not what we're saying. But it's hugely empowering when you think about how much control and power you have over yourself.
Yeah.
And we don't always feel in that space, do we? We don't always have that sense for ourselves. But, oh, Dizzy's playing the drums. Well done, Diz.
She's having a good go.
She is. Give that girl some drumsticks. Good girl, yes.
She'll have chicken drumsticks.
You're choosing that for yourself, Diz. Yeah, good girl.
Had you finished your point?
I can't remember what it was now. The dog distracted me.
No, it's amazing.
Obviously not very interesting.
Amazing.
I've chosen that.
Yeah. She's choosing to take pictures, listeners, of the dog
I'm trying to take a picture of Dizzy.
with your arm in it
Finally, she's quiet.
for 5 seconds.
Yeah. The thing is, so I was just saying it can be empowering to have that sense of control over yourself. It can also be difficult, triggering, you know, etc., etc. So, but ultimately, what do we have apart from our choices?
There's this thing called escape hatch theory, where basically people who are very unwell, psychologically very unwell, and we all do an element of escape hatch because by making a choice or not making a choice can lead to a consequence, right? So I just want to get out, I want to feel better, so I'm just going to eat some crap. That is like the much lower levels of escape hatch thinking. Trigger warning. The upper end, like the top end, is you either kill yourself or someone else. That's the opposite end. And the idea being is that if you've done that to somebody else and therefore you're in prison, all choices are, you're told when to eat, when to sleep, what to wear, what to do. You no longer need to make any choices. Trigger warning over. Back away from that. So the escape hatch thinking is really quite interesting because it's like this overwhelm of being able to make a choice, a sound choice. And I was just thinking on, when are we ever really making a choice to deliberately harm ourselves? So even at a very low level, having the Scotch egg, which causes me abdominal pain and discomfort, and now I've got fluid in my throat and it's very high and I need some stuff to sort it out. And so why are you causing that to yourself? And it's like, well, that's not the bit I was choosing. The bit I was choosing was to enjoy some simple food that I know I like. So I was trying to support myself, be nice to myself. That was the choice I was making.
Yes.
And the consequence to that is I have side effects.
Yes.
I'm not choosing the pain. That's not the bit I want.
Even though you are aware of the ripple effect and the consequences of that choice, you still choose to make it.
It's interesting.
It is interesting. I find it fascinating, actually. Because, and I think everybody listening will be able to identify a choice or choices, a pattern of behaviour that goes on in their life, which I'm not saying everyone has gastrointestinal issues, but there will be a downstream consequence which potentially isn't that great.
There was one I was just thinking of, it just permeates every aspect of life, like avoidance. So that's choosing to do something else so that you don't have to face into the thing. Interesting. Which might be even something super productive or healthy, like going to the gym a lot. Choosing to do that because if I'm busy, then I don't need to face into this other thing. So all of a sudden, I'm making a choice that is good for my body and potentially even my mental health.
Yes,
100%. And it's also the consequences. I'm therefore not making the time to face into the things that maybe I'm not even aware of or that I'm trying to avoid or whatever. You see what I mean? It's interesting. The choices, even maybe with really serious things, the choices are not... I'm trying to think of an example where a choice is its intention for the person is bad in and of itself. Do you see what I mean? Where it's only negative.
Can you think of a choice that's only negative?
Well, that's what I was just trying to...
I can't.
Like, even if you had the big red button for all the nuclear whatevers and you pressed it, then...
You would believe, surely, that there would be some protection or some kind of, and you're thinking, I'm thinking about people who do things like, I don't know, restrict their eating or, you know what I mean? Do like, that has all sorts of consequences, including ultimately, the end of their life. But that's not why they've chosen to restrict their eating, those downstream, do you know what I mean? They're choosing structure and control. I mean, obviously that is a mental illness and that's a huge suffering. That's a disease, but, I think that's why, and maybe this is the thing. if you are well in your mind and your body, and you are not suffering from kind of, a mental health disorder or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't have a physical disability or whatever, then you have agency over your choices that people who are suffering from those things don't have.
Yeah.
And I don't... Ultimately, we choose how we respond to things. That's what I keep coming back to.
Mm.
Choice permeates through every single layer of who we are.
Yeah.
Dizziee done one. She's let one rip.
Flipping heck.
She's done it over that way. It's on the other side of the studio, so I don't smell it.
She's chosen to drop.
Two can play at that game, Diz. Do you get me?
Watch out. Better watch out. Because Beetle's about.
You better watch out. You better not cry. Well, you will when you smell this.
Yeah.
So it permeates every layer of our lives. I think we've kind of, there's some very superficial things all the way down to the very deepest core of who we are.
So I'm thinking even like, so a crime and not getting like dark or whatever. Well, I suppose any crime might be triggering. So I'm just trying to think of something like fraud.
Yes.
I've been watching this program called Suits, and it's off of like years ago, and the main character is pretends to be a lawyer.
Oh yes, I know. Yeah.
So he's doing good work, although he's anyway. So he's made that choice to get himself out of a sticky situation, and has then really connected with. He has this love of the law and all the rest of it. Fundamentally, he's chosen to break the law.
Yes.
So that's one choice. He's also chosen to try and use his talents to help people.
Mm-hmm.
And, there's even if you like, I think, it permeates every aspect of our life. Like mum's, someone we know was beaten up by a bunch of youths. Those youths chose in that moment to do that.
Mm.
And I can't believe that's only for like some negative reason. Why would you, so therefore I'm thinking, well, they feel rubbish about themselves. They're trying to make themselves feel safe because maybe they're in a very unsafe space. And so if I do this, I at least can feel safe in this moment. There's lots of deeper reasons behind these things. So I can't think of a choice, and maybe listener land can help. I can't think of a choice that is purely negative.
I always think that the choices that look negative are anything but. I think most, if not all, of our choices have safety at their core.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to preserve our safety, maintain it, get back to it if we feel unsafe. That's what all the different parts of us are trying to do at the end of the day. So if you see choice as linked to safety, that's a fundamental link, then it puts a different slant on things that we are choosing that on the surface might not look so great. Exhibit A, Scotch egg. Exhibit B, a load of chalk or whatever. Okay, there's safety at the core of that. So I guess my new way of looking at that, and I've spent many, many years beating myself up for all sorts of choices, been very, very hard on myself, and where has it gotten me?
It's gotten me very, very stuck.
Same here. So in the process of unsticking myself, which is that deeper work that I'm doing and healing some of those very, very old things that sit around and lurk in the shadows, but dealing with all of that is, of course, ultimately a huge choice with significant ripple effect. So, and that is a kind of a meta choice, if you will, which is going to then have impacts on lots of other things.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've been doing a lot of deep work as well with my therapist for a long time, and it's not an easy place to be. It's actually really knackering. So to choose something hard like that is because I believe that there are really big, powerful, positive consequences as a result.
Yes.
Interesting, because then I think about, I've noticed probably over the last 2 years, my exercise has gone down and my weight has gone up. So I'm like, that's interesting. So exercise is something mentally I find hard to choose. Weirdly, I don't consider walking the dog difficult. I mean, going off and really exerting myself in some way, because it always feels like such an inconvenience. Typically the bikes, because I find running difficult. So then I've got to get my gear on, get the bike out. Then, in the autumn, winter, it's very mucky. You come back filthy. You got to hose everything down, including yourself. It's like long. And it's interesting. So that's a hard choice. And I notice I choose not to make that one. I've chosen another hard choice, which is all this deep work and all the therapy and everything else. Just like with the food, I choose, like tonight, I know that we're having pizza because I went and bought it all. And that contains a lot of the ingredients I shouldn't be having. And I love pizza.
Yes.
So it's interesting, that's a hard choice. I've been there before where I've been really strict on the diet and I've chosen every time to eat every meal to eat the right thing that agrees with my body. So I've done that hard choice before. Maybe it's just because all of my hard choice capacity at the moment is tied up with everything I'm doing. Maybe it's not limitless.
Yeah, maybe it's not. And maybe that's absolutely okay. And I think that potentially we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to choose, in inverted commas, the right thing, whatever the hell that may be.
Love being right.
Each time, every time, all the time. And it's just, not possible. So, it's kind of like, well, you're doing your best with what you have. You can't summon up capacity out of nowhere.
So I could choose not to give myself a hard time about that.
You could
I could choose to be tender and compassionate to where I am.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Often I don't choose that.
No.
Because this human nature to move forward, part of survival and safety. Don't stand still. Keep moving. Give myself a hard time, motivate myself to push forwards, kind of thing. Oh, I do find choosing compassion and tenderness for myself difficult. How easy a choice is that for you?
It's getting easier, much easier. I have chosen this year to build the habit of journaling. I don't do it every day, but I do it regularly. And I looked back, because as I fill another notebook, I put it wherever I put it, in the office, in my office at home, somewhere. And I was looking back at them all, and I did start it in January this year, and it's now October. And I think that has been, I haven't put any pressure on myself. There's no way of getting it wrong, and there's no way of getting it right. It's just a thing that you can choose to write down the mundanities of your life, or something very deep and profound that's occurred to you. It doesn't actually matter, and that isn't the point. But I've kept at it, and I've done it consistently, and just the fact that my hand works slower than my brain because I handwrite in a notebook, that has really helped me to process better. And out of that processing does come more filtered, this is coming from more of a place of compassion and clarity, rather than giving myself a good kicking, because I'm able to notice, although that is a habit, I'm able to notice that that's one without a positive ripple effect. It doesn't support me. So I'm not saying I don't do it, I do, but that act of journaling has really, I think, really helped to just shift over time, gradually, the tone of my internal discourse. And so I turn towards it, knowing that if I am giving myself a hard time, the goal with that is to keep me safe. And those parts of me are working diligently to do it. So, and I used to reject parts of me and not other. So now I welcome it all. Everyone come and sit around the campfire. That's great. And then, the journaling has helped me to process and be kinder in my tone.
Yeah. It's interesting. Like, just one thing on that sort of plane, I notice that I have chosen growth for myself proactively. I'm not just sat around and hoped growth would come along. I'm actively choosing it for myself every day. Which is, it's cool.
It's cool. It's not easy, and it's cool.
No.
And so the occasional Scotch egg pull or bit of pizza. Come on, brother.
I can't wait, to be fair.
Right.
I can't wait. I'm really excited.
We have Pizza Fridays in my house. Okay, good. The dogs are barking. Sorry about it. Pizza Fridays. Homemade dough, homemade sauce, but not homemade cheese.
Home we go.
Tune in to our episode on cheese callers for all of your cheese facts and commentary. But that is, sometimes food is comfort, food is ritual, food is connection, food is all sorts of wonderful things. And if that food in that moment is pizza, then so be it. Bring on the Scotch eggs. There we are. Better out than impulse.
Yeah, jeez.
Woo!
It's the old onion and garlic.
There's all sorts of vibrancy in this studio, and I'm not going to lie to you, listeners, with Dizzy's rear end and Paul's burps.
And Paul's mouth end.
So it's chewy, not chalky.
Aye. You could cut it with an eye.
You really could.
Maybe we ought to choose to pause there.
There we are.
Oh my gosh, what a choice.
Right. Check out your big bad self and your big bad choices.
Well, I've chosen to be big and bad.
You have. I'm just acknowledging that. I'm choosing to do that.
Well, I choose to say goodbye.
And I choose to also say goodbye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Curious Brain Thoughts.